I greet you, Ugandans and Ugandans in the diaspora, and fellow Africans in the African continent. My name bright is Junior Chukwuemeka, President of Federal Labour Democrats, the Safe Uganda Patriots, FLD SCP, and Commander-in-Chief of the Liberation Struggle to rescue our nation Uganda from the abusive, corrupt, oppressive, the black approval regime of URM7 and his NRM extremist military ruling class in Uganda. Today, as we're near 3 days to Uganda's Independence Day of 9th October, I want to speak about the African independence and more particularly Uganda's independence and what independence brought in, whether you judge it good or bad. In most cases, when you talk about independence, everybody will cherish. But I want to tell you that many countries that gained independence, and independence, instead of bringing glad tidings, brought misery and actually suffering of the people, all the black people during the black rule. Many people in Africa, many politicians, when you talk about independence, they think you're praising the imperialists or you're praising the white people against the black rule. It is not actually the essence. But let us look at what we gained when we had our own black rulers after chasing away the imperialists or the colonialists and those who managed the colonial masters. What did we gain in Africa? Before I talk particularly on Uganda, I promised that I'm the only politician, because politicians pretend, but I'm the only politician who will come up with the truth and the truth alone, and who will tell the truth and the truth alone. I'm not a pretender, and I cannot sell my mind. One thing is that my father paid exorbitantly to study. I have that pride, and I don't want to mess up and pretend like other politicians. I don't know. You can hardly find a politician with even a one master. Just bachelor and all that. But yeah, they're there with a master. But men with 9 masters and 2 PhDs, I can't sell my mind because I'll be insulting my dad and my mom, who paid exorbitantly to reach me to that level. I probably believe that I'm one of the most educated African. So I'll give you a share of my knowledge, and I will not sell or allow my mind to be bribed in such a manner that I will continue to tell the lies and pretenses of the politicians. Let me talk about independence. Before independence, we have it in history, in African contemporary history, or political history, that the colonial masters exploited the resources. That's the biggest part of it. And in some countries, there was some sort of operation. Like in South Africa, there was operation or after another version of colonial masters, which was called apartheid. In other countries, there was that type of operation. But the major part of it is to exploit resources. That the colonial masters came to exploit resources. I just want one person to tell us a country in Africa that has got oil and minerals that are really exploited by only black people without a white. And if you tell me that there is any black person who studied geological science who can point at a certain place with a PhD or any research, who can point at a certain place that we have gold here, we have oil here, we have this here, it's all the white people who are doing it in Africa. However much educated a black person can be, they will never tell you, okay, this house we're standing, we have diamond here. Not any black man that I know has ever explored, however much education of geological science, geographical information science, can tell you that there is this here. There is diamond, there is gold, there is oil here. It's the black people, the white people who can do that in Africa. We're still under the colonial masters. The way you call them colonial masters. You like it or not. Secondly, we heard about before independence exploitation of resources, and who are taking it now after the black rule. There is no any country that can do for itself on the minerals, even oil. It's still those that we hated as imperialists, that we hated as colonial masters, who still come to our countries and exploit the minerals. We just get simple things, and not many, even could be none, any country in Africa that they produce materials from our minerals from within. They take raw materials from the and still take this, and then they bring produced materials. The way it started with the medicine, they come to Africa where we have rich plantations, rich trees with medicine. They bring here in modified medicines, pharmaceutical manufactured, and we buy the knowledge of African person. So which exploitation was it before independence, and which exploitation is it after independence? Is there any difference? The only change is to change from a white leader to a black leader. And it became worse because we have now two thieves. We had only the white thief who exploited our resources, but maintaining schools, maintaining hospitals, maintaining roads, and so forth. Now, you can see that unlike South Africa and Egypt, all African countries, when somebody is sick, you will hear them going to Europe, Asia for treatment. They cannot even maintain their own hospitals. The leaders, I've been hearing the president of Nigeria going to Europe every now and then. And the country is very rich. They can't make any specialized hospital in Nigeria with all that money. They can't have medications and facilitations to say this hospital is here. It's only in South Africa, because I proved it that even Nelson Mandela was treated in South Africa. Other countries, they don't have hospitals. But the white rulers came with the health system, education system, and all the developments of infrastructure. Yes, I'm not cherishing. I don't think that we should have continued with the white rulers or the colonial masters or the imperialists. I thank you very much who fought for that. But what did we gain out of it? Many countries in Africa just fell from the flying pan to fire, like Zimbabwe, Uganda, and when it became, black leaders. Exploitation of resources was for one person, the white person who used to take the resources, but come up and make a medicine, pay medical doctors, train the nurses, train the doctors, train teachers, make specialized hospitals. Like in Uganda, they put the leprosy hospital, which was a specialized disease in Uganda. They made the hospitals at every district level. And the referral hospital at Mulago Hospital. They made colleges, schools, all Uganda's best model schools were made by the colonialists. Ever since the 50 years of independence, Uganda does not have any school that has put in place a new school or a college that Uganda built after independence. 50 years, or something like 260. 57 something. Yes, Uganda government after independence of 1962 has never found a place to put a school that rhymes with those that were built by the colonial masters. Namirian College of the Church Mission Society, King's College Budo, Gayaza, Nabisunsa, Namagunga, Busoga College, Mwiri, Namasagali, and others. Chitovu, including the hospitals. So hospitals we had in Zambia of the Church Mission Society, Catholic Mission Society, Lubaga, and Namirembe. Then we had even at all some church missions across the country, and schools, colleges, seminaries during the colonial master or the imperialists that we hated most. I don't refuse you to hate them, but what do you celebrate? You can hate them, but neither even to celebrate. And I want to say, you neither need to hate them nor to celebrate. Just leave it there. Because what do you celebrate, Ugandans? What are the Ugandans going to celebrate for in this Independence Day? On this Independence Day? What? I said all schools for the last 57 years were found there by the black rulers. They were built by the colonial masters. All the model schools. The government does not have any other school that they built in Uganda for the last 57 years. I said all the colleges, model schools to the levels of Budo, Namiryango, Chira College, Namasagal, Busuga College, Gayas, and Nabisunsa, Namagunga, and all those ones, they named the best Makara College, were built by the colonial masters. 57 years, there is no any school that has ever been built after independence. That's right with them. And now, the black rulers, during the time of colonial masters, those schools were for people who have passed well. Now, the black rulers came in. Those schools are for politicians, for those with economic status. What did it bring? A poor man, even if you pass, you don't have money to pay there. It's millions and millions of money to take your child to Budo, to take your child to Soga College, to take your child to Namagunga, Nabisunsa, and Gayaza. It's very expensive. During the colonial masters who brought them, they were equally provided to whoever qualifies. What did we gain out of independence? Hospitals in Uganda were put at every district level. One thing that you must know, Uganda was not a colony or was not colonized by any colonial master. Uganda was a British protectorate, but the British protectorate, the British government is what I mean, made everything possible to see that Ugandans are well in the social infrastructures, hospitals, education, road infrastructure, including the Uganda Railway, from Mombasa to Kasese. Where is the Uganda Railway after the black leaders came in? Where are the medicines? The health centers that are built by this government, these thieves? It's just like your own house, a house that a person has, a simple house, is a health center of millions of people in a certain group, sub-count. They put them at every sub-count. Just a small house with 2 rooms is a government health center. There is no medicine, nurses are not paid, doctors are not paid. Even those that were left by the British protectorate, at every district level there was a hospital well facilitated. Now, they're just buildings. No medicine, even electricity goes off. You can't believe. So what did we gain? Now, another point is the exploitation of minerals. And other things. These are thieves. We're talking about exploitation by the colonial rulers, but these are thieves now. We had one thief, we have 2. They cannot manage to do anything in Africa to explore, to manage, to manufacture any product through our minerals. Still, they call the West, they call to everybody to come here. So we have 3 thieves. If these ones were thieves, now you call them to still continue to steal, and you are also a thief. We have 2 thieves, and these black people are too far. They don't mind whether you die or not. Now let us come to another colonial version. We just await the British protectorate. We don't want the British to rule us. Yes, they said, okay, are you ready to rule yourself? Okay. Constitution, Lancaster House, okay, take off. From 1962, October 9th, we had Sir Edward Mutesa, Paul Milton Obote, April Milton Obote hit Sir Edward Mutesa by military. Did Amin Dada hit April Milton Obote by military? Another military came in, military. Yoweri Museveni coming, a foreigner. You chased away the whites, they are foreigners. Now you are captured by another foreigner from Rwanda because you didn't want the color, because this one is black. Uganda is not led by a citizen of Uganda. We said colonial masters go. We got other colonial masters in the black color. What are we going to celebrate? The white people, colonialists or colonial masters, who used to put medicine, roads, railways, and other social infrastructure. We didn't want them. We said, you give us independence, because Uganda did not fight for independence. Uganda's independence was just granted. And actually, the British protectorate first established the starting infrastructure, social infrastructures. Then they said, okay, we are granting you independence. There was no anybody who fought for independence in Uganda. They just organized in their political formations, DP, National Congress, UPC, and KY. So they gave them independence. It was granted. Nobody can lie to you that they fought. But when they received it, it was chaos. Now, from the white master to a black master, from the white colonial master, eventually to a black colonial master. Yoweri Museveni is not an indigenous Ugandan citizen, was neutralized, is a Rwandese who came to Uganda neutralized. Where in this world that a person just neutralized becomes the president? He's a foreigner, and now the Ugandan government is a foreign-dominated. All departments in Uganda, foreign-dominated. All revenue authority, all government departments, civil aviation, Uganda Airlines, Mason, Department of Finance. You will find that even permanent secretaries in departments, government departments, are Rwandese. The soldiers, top military soldiers, those in the units, the police is led by Rwandese. Which independence are you going to celebrate for? What are you going to celebrate? To have put out the white colonial masters and you bring the primitive colonial masters from Rwanda who have stolen, robbed, killed, kidnapped, and killed children. These primitive Rwandese Tutsi-Hima from Rwanda have killed. The white colonial masters did not kill Ugandans. These ones have killed, these ones have tortured, these ones have got safe houses, these ones have robbed everything, put in their properties, even the infrastructures and public corporates that were left in by the previous are taken in their ownership. What are we going to celebrate for? Looting? Institutionalized corruption? Killing of women? Torture? Human rights abuse of every kind? Killing of our own Ugandans by the black rule? Are we celebrating the black-to-black apartheid regime in Uganda? What are you going to celebrate on the 9th of October, Uganda's Independence Day? What do you have to tell us that there is something good that you want to celebrate? The white colonial masters made a bridge at Nile, the Nile Bridge. It is over 60 years back. It is still very firm. They made the bridge 2 years back. It is broken, but they put trillions of dollars. What are you going to celebrate on? Thieves? Killings? Torture? Dictatorship? 35 overstaying in power? Is that what you're celebrating? Can somebody celebrate for Uganda's independence? A sensible Ugandan. It's only the Rwandese decent to, I suppose. Even the Banyarwanda that we own as our own Baganda. Because it's just this isolation that brands them as Banyarwanda. But our Banyarwanda, the Ugandan Rwandese, cannot celebrate this rubbish. It's only those Rwandese who have to celebrate this because they captured power. And under siege, we're under another version of colonialism. So what is the Ugandan going to celebrate? When you put out the white colonial rule and you bring another black primitive colonial rulers from Rwanda to Uganda to rule Uganda, can every African look at this? We don't have a citizen in power. We don't have a citizen to manage any department. Everything in Uganda is managed by the Rwandese. So what's the essence? Very stupid. You can't, if you're a Ugandan, go for any celebration over this. Very foolish. You call people to celebrate. To celebrate what? I want to tell all Ugandans, we don't have anything to celebrate. We're under another version of colonialism, under another version of these primitive, foolish idiots, colonial rulers, from Rwanda to rule Uganda. Not until we take them out, we will celebrate. Thank you very much.